Where does that need for external validation comes from?
I don't know. It's a very sad thing that I just said. What I say in therapy, anyway.
I want to start with a question for both of you. So which of your past projects do you feel the most platonic connection to?
Which of our past projects do we feel the most platonic towards? Probably platonic. I'd say I have a platonic relationship with platonic, as opposed to the very sexual relationships that I had with some of my projects. Some of my work was born out of lust.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think the project lives up to its name, literally. Yeah.
Now for Seth, looking back, almost all your work has explored this male growing up in some way, from Superbad to Longshot and even Platonic, where we'll start season 2 thinking about settling down and getting married. Why has this male maturation state such an important theme for you?
I mean, I think we're all just trying to grow up a little bit here and there. And I think there was a generation of people who were forced to grow up very young. Like my grandfather, went to Germany to kill Nazis when he was a teenager, so that'll kind of progress your childhood. And then I think as a reaction, there was like a generation of people who sort of revolted against that in some ways. And I think people are always kind of stuck in limbo between wanting to capture their youth and their childlike wonderment and but also be responsible, mature people, and I feel that conflict at times. And it's also just kind of funny, and it is a good conflict, I think like coming of age, those types of stories I've always liked those stories, and even older people can come of age.
Now for Rose, congrats on your role in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, already being talked about as an Oscar contender. So I want to ask, what has working in comedy given you as an actress that you can bring in your dramatic roles?
Well, I think I'm going to be corny and feel like they're from the same place. I think drama and comedy is the same wellspring. And I think if it's not funny, it's not dramatic. And if it's not dramatic, it's not funny. So for me, I was always admired comedic actors more than anybody. And so I think it's very hard to do. And I think people make it look effortless. And that's not the case at all. I think it's a lot of hard work. I mean, obviously, can be naturally funny, but that doesn't translate to screen always. So for me, I was always nope. For me, it was always at putting those kind of actors on a pedestal, and I think it's the most moving kind of performances as well. So, but that's just my personal take or taste. Yeah.
My last question is going to be for Seth. You often mention that you care about how your projects are received by the press. In Yearbook, for example, you even talk about how your reception of the interview hits you emotionally.
Yes.
So where does that need for external validation comes from, especially when you've already got so much proof that you are great at what you do?
I don't know. It's a very sad thing that I just said. Well, I mean, I think that's one of the conundrums of being in the field where you're like putting your expressive output out into the world, and it's more self-preservational, and it's I think born of just a love for what I do, and yeah, a fear that if it's not being received in the way I hope it will, that maybe I won't get to do it anymore. But I also think that that's like being successful in my output is my work, is my work being received in the way I want it to. And so when I'm making something that I hope will like be, enjoyed by a broad audience and it isn't just like I'm not getting the validation I hope for. It's like I was not successful in bringing my idea to life in the way that I hope to.
Okay, thank you for this answer. Thank you for the conversation.
What I say in therapy, anyway.